Welcome, everyone. We'll go ahead and get started. We'll call this August 21st regular meeting of the Committee of the Whole to order, and we'll ask the clerk to call the roll.
Councilmember Smith.
Present.
Councilmember Stallings.
Here.
Councilmember Marsh.
Here.
Councilmember Crabtree.
Here.
Councilmember Craig.
Here.
Councilmember Martin.
Here.
Councilmember Sumner. Councilmember Meek.
Here.
Councilmember Bogard.
Present.
Councilmember Velez.
Here.
Councilmember Bell.
Here.
Councilmember Drought.
Here.
We have a quorum.
All right, if you're able, please stand for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Right. Item 4, approval of the minutes from our July 17th, 2025 regular meeting. Got a motion?
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion on that? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that passes. Number 5, administrative matters, quarterly code enforcement report, Chief Futrell, and he is already
Good
there.
evening. How are y'all tonight?
Good.
So we'll go through this pretty quick. As you can see, for the second quarter, we had about 650 incidents in our code enforcement department, with the majority of those being property standards. This is our focus, as always, is our unsafe structures, grass, trash, and weeds, litters and rubbish, and vehicles. This is our 6 steps to code compliance. We always like to put this out there. We get a lot of questions on how this process works. So we always make sure that we put this out there. It's on our website. And this is the new app that the city is developing. Amanda's working really hard on this. It will be coming soon, and it'll streamline everything that we do and make it so much easier. You will have this app. The city will use it to put information out, but also it's a one-step click for code enforcement. If you have an issue, take a picture from your phone, send it right to us, and then it asks you a few questions, and it sends it to where it needs to go. So if it's a code enforcement issue, it goes to us. If it's a public works issue, it goes to them, and it's fairly immediate, very easy to use, very user-friendly. And that goes live September the 1st. So that'll be really good for the city. Are there any questions?
Any questions code enforcement wise?
No questions. Just want to say thanks. I've called you several times with your people, and y'all are knocking it out of the park. So I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, we'll go to item B, quarterly fire department report.
Okay, jump right in there. So as you can see, we were very busy in the second quarter for a fire with almost 1,000 calls for service, with the majority of those being rescue and emergency medical services. We did have 16 structure fires in residences, and 14 outside fires. We had 57 MVAs, so vehicle wrecks with injuries, which is pretty high, with 4 vehicles versus pedestrians. And then for a Station 5 update, and I'll show you a few pictures, but please call me if you'd like to go down there. We would love to take you down there right now through this process. We are coming up in October to having completion. So if you want to come see it, I'd be glad to meet you down there and walk you through it. But you can see here some of the pictures. It's coming along nicely, on track to open in October. This is a quick video that we shot with our drone. This was taken 2 weeks ago. I actually just got back from Bowling Green a few hours ago. We've been at our state conference, our fire chiefs conference, and I had several conversations with fire chiefs there that are excited about this facility. We will have conferences here. We will have lots of trainings here, and people from all over the state will come here to use this facility. So engine 5 that is, we purchased for this station, it is here. It will carry capability of carrying 6 firefighters, but it will not. It will carry 3 firefighters, have 1,000 gallons of water on it, and it'll serve all of south of Hopkinsville. So for EMS, again, very busy with 3,700 runs, with the majority of those being 911 calls. This is a breakdown of those calls that we have. I will say one other thing for EMS is, for the first time in a long time, we are back over $2 million in the bank. Now we do have $700,000 worth of ambulances to purchase in January, February, we hope. But we are doing very good in our EMS division. We are looking to do some expansion. I will take that to the ambulance board next month for approval to add a few people to help with our, actually officers for our EMS division. Once the ambulance board approves that, we will take it to the mayor and Troy to bring to y'all for that. And that's 100% funded through EMS, with actually some extra funds. There was a House bill that was approved, and it starts in January, so it'll be on top of what we already have. We're receiving an additional $500,000 a year that we'll use to pay for 100% of that. So good stuff for EMS is doing really good. Are there any questions?
Questions?
All right, thank you so much.
All good, thank you. Item C, monthly agency board council appointee report, Ward 8.
I have nothing to report this month.
Nothing to report. Okay, short and sweet. All right, number 6, unfinished business. We have none, so we'll go to item 7, new business, special purpose vehicles, and we'll turn it over to Mr. Willen.
If you can look at page 14 in your packet, there's a draft ordinance that's just a very simple ordinance. Senate Bill 63, which became effective on June 27th of this year, allows special purpose vehicles to operate on city highways so long as there's an ordinance allowing that to take place. So you have to opt in. If you don't, then they're prohibited within the city limits. A lot of cities are just now starting this. We don't have any regulations to go by yet, so it could be that this will need to come back to fine tune, but the ordinance provides that the state regulations and laws apply. So the operation of the vehicles within the city limits, you can see there are several limitations. What's in your packet has been amended to 35 miles per hour instead of 25. So all the roadways that are 35 miles per hour and under, so long as it's, it can't be on the bypass or Mineral Parkway, but within the city, then these special purpose vehicles would be allowed to operate, have to have an operator's license, and any person under age 18 needs to wear a protective helmet. Those are some pretty standard requirements that are required that we got from Kentucky League of Cities, other cities are doing. But other than that, the regulations and the requirements of the state apply as far as registration, inspection, insurance, and then to have all of the equipment on the SPV that is needed. So pretty straightforward. I'll be glad to take any questions.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion we pass this on to council.
Yes, sir. All right.
Second.
All right, we've got a motion and a second. Any further discussion on this? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That will be forwarded to council. New business item B, Economic Development Committee report. Turn it over to Mr. Don Marsh.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Can I just report from here? I don't need to walk over.
No,
there.
you're good.
Right there.
Thank you so much. On December the 17th, 2024, pursuant to Executive Order 28, 2024, the mayor created the Economic Development Committee to study issues relating to economic development projects and provide recommendations regarding policies and procedures concerning economic development in Hopkinsville. The committee included Councilmember Jason Bell, Councilmember Chuck Crabtree, myself, and City Attorney Doug Willen. The committee met on 5 separate dates from February 10 through July 14. The committee researched and studied the current economic development policies utilized by the city for industrial, commercial, small business, residential, and other projects. Our CFO, Melissa Clayton, provided a full report on all the current economic development projects, and the city clerk, Brittany Byram, provided copies of all existing municipal orders and ordinances providing and approving incentives. Tom Britton, Holly Bogus, On behalf of Community Development Services, provided information and documentation of incentives facilitated by CDS. We had Carter Hendricks on behalf of the Southwestern Kentucky Economic Development Council, provided an overview of their work and answered questions from the committee with regard to the current process of attracting industry and negotiating incentive packages. Deanna Silva, on behalf of the Small Business Commission in Hopkinsville, conveyed the concerns and recommendations of the SBC with regard to city incentives affecting small businesses. Inquiries were made with the Kentucky League of Cities. Mark Franklin, Bond Counsel, provided input regarding city incentive policies. So based on all of the research that we made, Mr. Chairman, we offer and done by the committee, the following recommendations are presented for further discussion and consideration. Shall I read them? Number one, the committee recognizes a lack of communication with recent industrial incentive negotiations, which has led to some problems. The committee recommends the city designate the city's chief financial officer, the city attorney, and the city council member to serve as the point of contact between the SWK EDC and the city on all incentive negotiations. The Southwest Kentucky Economic Development Council should receive specific written authorization to negotiate and should not make any offers without authorization. City council should be kept apprised of the status of negotiations periodically at an interval decided by the governing authority, and all involved should be subject to strict confidentiality. City council members should not be directly involved in the negotiating of any incentive package except through confidential closed session discussions. Page 2. Number 2. The city council should consider implementing a policy for industrial incentives, setting forth the standard incentives available for industrial applicants and the process involved in negotiating incentives. The policy should include requirements that all incentive packages be reduced to writing in the form of a grant agreement and secured by clawback provisions and mortgages. For the purpose of example, the city of Bowling Green has codified its rebate model in a job development incentive program ordinance, and upfront lump sum grants are not standard. City council should have the discretion to modify incentive packages as needed on a case-by-case basis, but uniformity is needed. Number 3, the city should monitor all grant applicants for compliance with the grant agreement, and the CFO should report to the mayor and city council at least semi-annually. The number of jobs created, the amount of capital investment should be verified. Number 4, the Hopkinsville Tax Increment Finance Development Authority, established in 2009, has not been utilized as a result of a lack of tax increment finance or TIF projects. Consideration should be given to modifying the Hopkinsville Tax Increment Finance Development Authority to facilitate economic incentive negotiations in addition to TIF projects. Number 5, consideration should be given to establishing economic incentive guidelines for small businesses located within the city. Local businesses should be given preference when bidding on city contracts as allowed by law. We know that there already is a very strong policy concerning this. Number 6, in the event communication problems continue in the process of negotiating industrial incentives, the city should consider the feasibility of bringing economic development in-house as a city department. Number 7, consideration should be given to the importance of retaining new employees as residents and homeowners in the city of Hopkinsville. And approved by the Economic Development Committee on the 15th of July. I signed it. I submitted it for passage on in the form of motion to the city council for consideration.
All right, does anyone have any questions? Just need a motion to forward this to council. What do we need?
I'm not sure there's any action that's necessary now other than discussion. I think there are 2 items in here that we would need to, if council is inclined to follow up on, if you accept this recommendation, would be 2 policies or guidelines. One for industrial incentives, to have a formal guideline that you follow with the ability to deviate from that in certain cases. And then also an incentive guideline for small business, which we don't have. And that would give you a guideline in granting incentives and would also assist and facilitate the filing of the application and processing those incentive requests before they get to you. And I think that was something that the committee thought was important to get all of the information together, have it streamlined, and present it on in a uniform basis to council. So those would be two things that I think it'd probably be proper to just place on the business list. The administration and I can work on drafting a set of guidelines subject to your modifications as you see fit. So I think that would, a motion to place this on the business list to come back when we're able. We can coordinate with the committee of the whole chair to bring that back.
Yeah, I'll just modify my motion then.
Okay, got a motion and a second. Any further questions there? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I know, I appreciate the work the committee did. This wasn't done overnight. I know you all put a lot of work in it, and Doug also, so I appreciate
Well, thank you. I really appreciate the work of Jason Bell and Chuck Crabtree also, as well as the city attorney with his, skillful guidance. It was obvious to all of us that for a very long time, economic development has been in several different hands, and there's never been a unified approach to that. And that's, I think, what we kind of drew to. And so thank you for your help, and thank you.
All right, we'll move on to item C, property tax rates. Ms. Melissa Clayton.
Hello, good evening.
Oh,
So it's my pleasure to bring you guys the property tax rate recommendations. I wanted to start off by saying property tax assessments have gone up again this year. And I just wanted to list the last 3 years and how much they've increased. 2025 had an increase in assessments of $184,825,420. So our recommendations tonight for real property, we are recommending a property tax decrease. Last year, our tax rate was 0.209. This year, we're recommending 0.202. Personal property, we're going to leave at the same rate. Last year, 0.239. This year, 0.239, and motor vehicles, same. We're recommending the same rate we had last year. So no increases. We are recommending a property tax decrease. We are also recommending that we continue to offer the 2% discount if paid in the month of October. So that kind of concludes our recommendations. We do need property tax rates decided tonight because of printing the property tax bills and getting them out in the month of September. So.
any
In that case,
questions?
I'll make a motion that
I'll
we
second.
adopt the lowered tax rate, and also include in that same motion that we continue offering the 2% discount.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Motion and a second there. Any further discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Doesn't require the public hearing. So we'll have a public hearing September 16th, and the first reading September 16th, and then the second reading of that will be on September the 18th as well.
And if, Mr. Chairman, if
Yes, sir.
WKDZ happens to be listening, let them take note that the Hopkinsville City Council lowered the tax rate.
Lowered. Keyword is lowered.
Lowered.
All right, item D, fiscal year 25-26 operational budget amendment. Ms. Clayton, you're back up.
All right, so we are bringing to you the first quarter operational budget amendment. This is the budget amendment where we do the transfers according to the financial policy of the items that have to be transferred with our, when we have more revenue than expenses. So we have two of those. We'll use prior year revenue to cover a transfer to the Economic Development Fund of $68,213 and a transfer to the Health Trust Fund of $34,106. Also in this budget amendment, we need to do the capital transfer where we passed the capital budget this past month. We need to move that money from the general fund over to the capital fund. So that's the $340,000 out of the capital equipment replacement reserve that we're going to move. We have some additional operational expenses that we've become aware of. They're listed there on your screen. There are 4 of them. And that total is $295,075. We are going to use prior year revenue to cover those additional expenses that we know about. And then we have to decrease the pilot where you guys gave solid waste. 1 year off. I will let you know that they kind of paid quarterly this last year, and the June payment that they cut, we received in July, so that's why it's not the 400,000, it's 283. So we got a quarterly payment in July already for last year's money. So that's going to be a decrease, and we're just going to take it out of prior year revenue of our revenues of 283,000. So I'd be happy to answer any questions you guys might have about this budget amendment. That's all that's in there.
Questions?
What was the 200,000 insurance? What was that?
Yes, we need $200,000 more in insurance.
Across the whole city?
Yeah, it's our liability insurance. It's our liability insurance.
Questions? Motion to forward that to council.
Motion.
Second. Any further questions there? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that passes.
All right.
Item E, CDBG budget amendments. You're back up.
All right, that's me, one more time. So we did receive approval from HUD on our substantial amendment to adjust 3 prior years' projects, taking the project money from rehab construction and putting it into a new activity, which we are calling parking facilities, public parking facility improvements. In order to do that, the last step is a budget amendment where we move that money where it's been allocated in prior year budgets over into the new category. So this is kind of the final step of what we're going to do. And I know CDBG, you guys might have some questions, so I'd be happy to try to answer those. But we're adjusting the action plan year for 2022, 2023, and 2024. The money was currently budgeted in rehab construction, and we're going to move it over into public parking facilities.
All right, any questions? Go on. Oh, yes, sir.
Only question, Melissa, is, so I'm assuming this money's been sitting there since 2022.
That's correct.
Why has it not been used for rehab construction for the last 3 years?
Well, the current program, or the program that was being run, was really, it took a while to build up enough money to demolish and rebuild a house. And so previously, the money would get built up, and when there was enough money there, we would remodel a house. We are currently in the process of evaluating housing programs from other entitlement communities. We want to come back with a new housing program. We also previously, some of this money would get partnered with Kentucky Housing Corporation. We'd get a grant from them, and so they would get put together. And we, as part of that housing program, we were paying 100%, and Kentucky Housing Corporation has kind of told us that the owner of the house has to have skin in the game, so we can't pay 100%. So we have to rewrite our housing program. And so in the meantime, we didn't want to leave the money just sitting there while we try to figure it out. So we're going to use the money to do these, to improve the inner city parking facilities. And then when we get the housing program figured out, we may come back and reprogram this money later, depending on how much we spend on, but we want to get this money invested into the community.
Right.
So that's what this is for.
Okay, thank you.
Other questions? Do we have a motion in a second? Oh, okay, so we need a motion to send that to council as well.
I'll make a motion.
Motion.
Second.
All right, sorry, I got lost there. All right, we motion in a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
You can sit down now.
Good.
All right, item 8, others. Anybody have anything else that needs to be brought before us? I'm gonna call on Chief Newby. He has a couple updates that we've asked for, or I've asked for, and he's gonna fill us in.
Good evening. So first of all, on the special purpose vehicles, I want you all to understand that's only one ordinance. There's actually 2 other ordinances that I would request that you all look at. One is an ordinance on golf carts, because at KRS, these are all different. The side-by-sides are different from the golf carts. And there's also another one that I would request that you look at. There's a lot of other vehicles that are out there that don't fall under motorized vehicles that people are operating on the roadways, lawnmowers,
Oh, gosh.
electric skateboards, electric bicycles, mini bikes. But they don't fall under motor vehicles, so they don't fall under the motor vehicle laws. They're not completely blocking traffic, so they don't fall under obstructing roadways. So the only way to enforce citizens from either being allowed to be on the road or not be on the road is through a city ordinance. So I'm requesting you all to look at, what do you want to be allowed on the road? What roads do you want them to be allowed on? We can't enforce that, law enforcement, because there's no laws that applies to those motorized vehicles that are not vehicles, but motorized pieces of equipment, if you will, that are out there. So we need an ordinance for that kind of stuff. The golf carts are different from the special purpose vehicles. Golf carts have a different definition. They're by KRS, they're vehicles that are not designed to go over 35 miles an hour. So you need an ordinance whether you want to allow people on golf carts, and if so, where. The side-by-sides, the special purpose vehicles, KRS, there's a huge list of things that these vehicles have to have. But keep in mind, 35 miles an hour or less, there are some roads, even though they're 35, like Fort Campbell Boulevard, they're still not going to be allowed on Fort Campbell Boulevard because that is a federal roadway. If it's a U.S. road, US 41, US 41A, US 68, any of those roads, even though a city ordinance allows it, federal laws do not allow it. And, you know, if the city gets federal grants for repaving those roads or whatever, obviously we have to go by those federal guidelines. So I would request that you guys look at a golf cart ordinance along with your special purpose vehicle ordinance, and also look at the other vehicles, the lawnmowers, the electric skateboards, the electric bicycles, whether you want them to be allowed on the road or not.
Do you have a suggestion for golf carts? Like neighborhoods only, 25?
Yeah, I mean, the golf carts, my suggestion would be 25 mile an hour or less speed zones. That's going to restrict the golf carts to your residential areas. You know, parents want to take their kids out, you know, in the evening they can, or taking their kids out trick or treating on golf carts, or just saying hello to the neighbors.
Yeah.
That's going to keep them in those areas. That would be my suggestion. Then, of course, your special purpose vehicles, you guys have already got an ordinance for that, and KRS outlines what those vehicles have to have. So it's really just, you know, if you want to limit them to certain areas.
And on any of these, like golf carts, you have to be a licensed driver. You can't, there's kids.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kids are not permitted.
Yeah, and KRS specifically tells you if the city wants to pass an ordinance, the city can pass a more strict ordinance than what the law is. It just can't be more lax than what the law is. So KRS tells you what they have to be able to operate those golf carts, including a special sticker or notice on the golf cart that says they've been approved by the city. And so it pretty much outlines it. It's just completely up to you what you want to allow on our city streets. The other update I had was I've been working with Councilman Sumner and the mayor. We've had a lot of complaints about skunks, especially in the Ward 7 area. Typically, if it was one or two houses, you know, that's something that our animal control could take care of. But with the amount of complaints and concerns that we have in that area, that's just beyond our means of control for animal control. So I want everybody to know I am meeting with two companies tomorrow. They're going to be coming here to Hopkinsville. I will be taking them over to Ward 7, and they're going to start giving us estimates of what it would cost to do some skunk removal in that area. And if there's other problem areas in your wards, let me know. But right now, the only area that I'm really aware of is in Ward 7. So we're going to focus on that tomorrow. Once I get those estimates, I will bring that to Mr. Body and the mayor and
see what council wants to do as far as moving forward with helping that ward with the removal of the skunks.
It's horrible.
Yeah, two things. Two things real quick. I want to go to first, the skunk thing. Thank you all.
Yes, sir.
Second, it takes too long to get all the way through council. You've got some discretion funds if we need.
We'll work on that. Don't worry about
Thank
that.
you
We're
for
gonna
that,
move
too.
forward. My telephone is melting up there. We have
Your
skunks.
dog gets sprayed one time, you learn quick, you don't want it.
Yeah.
Don't let him come in your house. That's all I got to
Yeah.
say through the doggy
They're even
door.
out there in the daytime, so it's getting bad. And the other thing, Doug, I know you probably got 600 copies of ordinances for golf carts, so go ahead and get that one ready for sure.
Yes.
I mean, that's obviously,
We looked at
we've
this.
talked about it before.
We looked at this several years ago, so it shouldn't take me long to get a draft ordinance.
He's done blowed the dust off of it. We
Yep.
done looked at it a couple
And it's time.
times.
It's time.
Yeah, and the other big one, like I said, the lawnmowers, the motorized bikes, skateboards, same things. I've seen them all over town. I've seen them on the boulevard. I've seen them, you just see them everywhere, and they're getting more and more
It's an
frequent.
issue.
But
Motorcycle bike is something else now.
what's that?
Them electric bikes are something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll fly
Yeah.
too.
But our hands are tied without an ordinance that allows us to enforce it.
On the skunk deal, it's catch and release, right? They're not.
Well, I'm going to meet with them. My understanding is they will catch them and then relocate them
Okay.
to an area and release them. They're not.
They're
Yeah,
not
it's
killed or
it's a
anything.
very,
Yeah.
it'll be a very humane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Better than what I'll do with
Yeah.
Maybe
Any other
South
questions?
America.
You take it over to his house.
All right.
All right,
Thank you for the update.
Thank you, sir.
All right, item 9, closed session. We need to go to closed session pursuant to KRS 61.8101C to discuss pending litigation.
I'll make a motion, we go into closed session.
Motion second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, we're in closed session. action taken. We're at item number 10, adjournment, which need a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Motion and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. We are adjourned. Thank you.
You know what I'm talking about.